Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Espresso with me, Darius Unchauskas, where we're going to have a look at the markets, what happened with them yesterday, what levels to watch out for today. Today is the 23rd of May 2018. I hope you're having a good morning. So before we jump in, as always, let's have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content of this webinar does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Also, a quick reminder of our JFD Brokers research page here, where you can go in and have a look at different analysis that we do on a daily basis, which throw out different trading shoutouts. So yeah, guys, I mean, feel free to come and visit us on our research page here at jfdbrokers.com. So for now, let's have a look at the markets. Let's have a look at a few indices. So the first one I want to look at is the S&P 500. Now yesterday I was talking about this when I was telling you guys to keep an eye on this area here, the 2740 mark, 42, something like that. We got a nice rejection here, and now we can see we got a push lower. So we closed the day in the red zone, and now it seems that it wants to push a little bit lower again. So certainly the next area that we are watching here is this one, the 2700. Now a break below that could send this index a little bit lower, maybe towards this downwards moving trend line that we've broken out recently, and we could end up testing that one from above, which could also act as a good bouncing ground for a potential move higher later on. But for now, of course, we'll kind of go step by step, and we'll consider this level first, the 2700, if this selling activity will continue. Certainly we are in this little range right now. I mean, we should be very cautious here, because if we see another push here higher and eventually we'll start testing the 2742 mark again, we could eventually see another break here above maybe, and then if that's the case, we should be aiming for higher levels. Certainly the area that I'm watching here is between the 2790 and the 2800, so that could be a potential good area of resistance, certainly marked by these peaks here, the 27th of February and the 13th of March. So but that is only, of course, if we're gonna get excuse me, a nice push here above the 2742. Oh, excuse me, my voice is going down today this morning, but never. Okay. Watch out for these areas, guys, yeah, we potentially look out for these breaks. So, but for now, we're quite neutral on this. We're just going to continue observing it. Looking at the FTSE 100, now the FTSE is, well, probably the strongest of them all, and yesterday I was talking about it, to keep an eye on this 7900, because this is a new level of resistance that we've just created yesterday. Maybe slightly we managed to push here a little bit higher towards the 7903. So certainly this area becomes now as a good level of resistance to watch out for. We managed to push away from this, and of course all eyes are on today. Let's see if we're gonna break that level again, if we're gonna break the 7900, and if we do, well, it is opening the path towards the other psychological level of 8,000. Certainly the question is, are we going to reach that level this week, or is this something going to be this is something going to be for next week? So for now, we're going to go step by step, and we're going to be aiming for this 7,900 again. If we see a nice break, well, watch out for these higher levels. On the downside, of course, we would need to see a nice push, a nice pull back here towards the 7,800 initially, and then 7,790. And if we do get a nice break below the 7,790, well, guess what? We could end up breaking this upwards moving trend line as well. That could open the path towards these lower levels, a break of which could open the path towards these lower levels. Now, but before we start talking about these levels here, let's see if we're going to actually make a move lower towards the 7,800 and eventually a break of the 7,790. So for now, guys, stay sharp on this one. Yeah, I know it looks bullish, but like I said, we found a new level of resistance, a nice round number, well, almost a round number of 7,903. So keep an eye on that area, guys. Looking at the DAX, so the DAX is also looking strongish. It closed in the green yesterday, managed to break above this 13,135 area that acted as a good resistance yesterday, the day before yesterday, and now we're above that, and we are aiming towards this next area of resistance, the 13,300. Now this could act as a good level of resistance. Certainly a break above that could send this a little bit higher. Now, if you've noticed here, we're still within this rising channel formation, and if we do get a nice break above the 13,300, we could end up moving higher here towards the 13,450, or even actually touching this upper bound of the rising channel and then reversing maybe a little bit down. But for now, certainly keep an eye on this higher level. If by any chance we go back a bit below the 13,135, keep an eye on this area right here, the psychological 13,000. Now that acted as a good level of resistance and support, I mean, and recently. So also that level is not far from the lower bound of the rising channel, which could get tested as well if we make a move towards the psychological 13,000. So for now, guys, watch out for this area right here, the 13,135. Looking at the US oil, now let's jump into commodities. And I was talking about this one yesterday, and I was telling you guys to keep an eye on the 72 mark. Now we're balancing around the 71.90 area, approximately there. Certainly, if we see a continuation here to the downside, a break below the 71.90, we could end up testing this short-term upwards moving support line. Certainly it would be interesting to see a break here, because if we do get a break below this rising support line, then it could open the path towards these lower levels, and we could see maybe a bit of I would call it a healthy correction back towards this upwards moving trend line, this longer term upwards moving trend line that started here in the end of August 2017. So for now, keep an eye on this line, on the 71.90. A break below that could send this commodity to test the rising support line here, and of course a break below that could send this a little bit lower. On the upside, we would need to see a nice push here. Let me just quickly mark that level here, the high, the yesterday's high here at around 72, let's call it 72. Oh, there we go. Please excuse my drawing here. So yeah, the 72, 72.90. Let's I'll just try to push this one here. Anyway, that will do. So a nice move above the 72.90 could send this commodity a little bit higher here, and we could start aiming maybe towards the 73.25 initially, and of course towards these the higher levels then, but we'll have to evaluate that later. First we would need to see a nice break here above the 72.90 in order to consider higher levels. But looking at this, judging by this picture right now, I mean, it seems that it wants to push a little bit lower, but certainly it's getting held here by this 71.90 area approximately there. So for now, guys, I mean, let's keep an eye on this, and if we do get a move lower, watch out for a break here if we do get one. Looking at the euro dollar, jumping into a few pairs now, and you're looking at the euro dollar. So initially yesterday in the morning we had a nice run here to the upside. We were looking at this level here, the 118,200. We broke it slightly to the upside. We managed to reach the 118,300, and we were not far from this downwards moving resistance line here, drawn from the 19th of April, and certainly it would have been interesting to see a nice break here above, but we can see that we got a move lower in the end of the day, and basically the euro dollar closed in the red. So today we're seeing a bit of continuation to the downside. Now we're gonna be quite neutral on this one right now, because to be honest, it's a very close call here. It's not far from this downwards moving resistance line. We could maybe end up getting a spike of some sort, breaking this level here, and then breaking through the downwards moving resistance line. So for now, like I said, we're going to stay quite cautious on this one. We're going to turn more bearish if we see a nice move towards this 117, 150 mark approximately there, which was the 21st of well, probably should say the Monday's low here. If we're gonna break the Monday's low, yep, I think this could open the path towards the lower levels here. Maybe even this area right here, which is quite close to it, the 116,900, and also a break below that could send this a little bit lower. But like I said, let's go step by step, and let's see what it wants to do first. Looking at the Euro Aussie, now this is an interesting pair as well, and we're seeing this nice recovery in the Euro Aussie yesterday, and well, actually today. Yesterday it closed with a pin bar here, and which is a nice reversal signal. We managed to touch this area that I kept watching, the 155, so we bounced off of it nicely, and now we're pushing towards this area right here, the 156,250 approximately there, a break of which could send this pair a little bit higher here, maybe even towards this downwards moving resistance line for a quick test of it, and even actually we could end up testing the longer term upwards moving trend line here from underneath. This trend line has been running from the February 2017, so it could be a good area to watch, guys, but for that, of course, we would need to see a break of this 156,250 area first. On the downside, if this suddenly reverses back down and we see a move below the 155, keep an eye on this, I mean, area, guys. This could be a bearish signal. We could start breaking this 1.55 and eventually maybe testing this 200 EMA, and if these two don't hold the pair, then well, it is opening the path towards lower levels. So for now, of course, we're gonna just keep observing this one. Certainly it's on the short-term picture, it's kind of trying to be turned bullish right now, even though on a slightly bigger picture here, it's still below the downwards moving resistance line. So it's a very tricky one, but to be honest, could be an interesting pair to trade. Let's quickly have a look at a few more. Now, Aussie dollar, you probably understood, sold off. You probably understood by the Euro Aussie pair, and yeah, we initially were pushing higher here, managed to touch the upper bound of the Bollinger Bands, and now we're pushing lower here, breaking the 0.75 650 mark, and now we are pushing lower towards this area right here, this 21 EMA. Now the thing is, I mean, normally these EMAs kind of never look at them as very good levels of support or resistance. But to be honest, I mean, we could see maybe a stop here, a slowing of the selling around this 21 EMA, and then maybe we'll see. I mean, maybe we'll get a nice reversal here, because probably it's going to react to this little support line here that we've got, and if this support line holds, we could end up seeing a reversal. We could maybe see another move towards this 0.75 650, and eventually maybe a break of that and a move higher. But for now, let's not speculate too much. Let's see what it wants to do with this area first. And probably one last pair here that I'm going to look at is the well, the slightly annoying the USDCAD, I would say. I mean, last Friday we had a nice push higher here. It looked like it wants to continue pushing higher, but then we sold off on Monday, and now we are trying to recover these lost grounds slowly. But again, we're stuck in this little range here between the 127.300 and the 129.150 mark, or actually, if you want to maybe narrow it down towards the 128 and 129. So of course, keep an eye on this, guys. I mean, it is an interesting spot here. You can see that we've got this triangle formation forming here, and certainly for us, we're going to continue observing this one. And if we get a nice break here above this upper side of the triangle, well, we're going to probably end up being more bullish on this one. But of course, a strong move lower and eventually a break of this lower side of the triangle could open the path towards these lower levels. So for now, guys, it is a tricky one. It's an interesting one, but at the same time, like I said, it's difficult to trade this kind of price action. But nevertheless, keep on monitoring it. Okay, guys, I will have to wrap it up here. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you found it useful, and I hope you join me later on in my Traders Tea Time at 13:15 GMT time, 14:15 British Summer Time. Thank you very much, and have a good day. Bye-bye.